sharing information, just being together too. We can't all be together, but we are together in heart and in spirit and on Zoom. So next week, I'll remind you at the end, I think I'm going to take off July 3rd. I think, I don't know who's going out shooting off fireworks or getting away, but hopefully a lot of us are back to a little bit of the living, even though now we're going to be forced to stay home again in Arizona, apparently. I don't know, but so I think we'll take off from Fit Pro Connection. We love to hear what you want to hear more of, so please let us know. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Janice Jakes. I'm the owner of the Fitness Fest Conference and Expo. We're a live event that was supposed to happen in April. We've rescheduled for September, so we'll keep you updated on that. I also own a swim school. We teach little kids to swim, and since I can't be indoors at my gyms right now, we are teaching in my backyard and in your backyard if you live in the East Valley. And then we have a mind, body, spirit retreat annually, and we'll have one September 18th to the 20th. So been in the fitness industry. I teach aquatics and have been for over 30 years. I want to welcome to the panel our three illustrious speakers. I'm going to start with McCall Tykeson. Want to say hi, McCall?
Hi.
Want to wave to everybody? All right. McCall is a former middle school health teacher. I did not know that, McCall, and high school drill team coach, but no surprise there. McCall set off to travel the world as a professional ballroom and Latin dancer. McCall and her husband have 3 beautiful children, and McCall is bringing her infectious energy to everything she does, creating spaces that leave everyone feeling welcome, comfortable, and excited about fitness. And I can tell you firsthand that that's super true. She's a presenter for Fitness Fest, and she actually, when COVID started, came to my backyard and taught us high fitness and bar, and she's amazing. So she's awesome on social media. She really gets so many likes and hits and loves, and she's really so we definitely wanted to have McCall on our team. So thank you so much, McCall, for taking the time. Zale says McCall is the best, so Zale loves to you as well. Welcome to the Zoom call, Sean Sewell. Sean is a Colorado mountain man that enjoys training his clients to enjoy the great outdoors using simple and effective training tools, TRX, kettlebells, and body weight, along with intelligent programming to improve health and fitness. Sean is the owner of Engearment and Colorado Personal Fitness, and lives in Denver, Colorado with his wife and dogs, we found out as well. There's a couple other things you might want to share with us that Tyler told me that I think you do marketing for some kind of big companies or have helped them, like Patagonia?
Yes. Patagonia, Black Diamond, North Face, most anything you would see I've worked with those guys.
Okay, cool. Those are things you should put on your bio there, Sean.
I should probably do that, yeah.
All right, Tyler Valencia. Tyler has been on a couple of our other Zoom calls, and he's helping us with Fitness Fest as far as marketing and social media and our website. We're switching over to WordPress, which we're super excited about because all the recordings that we've had, we can finally have in one place. Like people ask, do you have the recording? Oh, you gotta wait. Sorry, we're not that sophisticated, but we are going to be sophisticated. So Tyler is the president of KIPS, Kinesiology Institute for Performance Specialists, KIPS, and Kettlebell Concepts, and since 2016 has been selling and developing online and live education. He's actually putting my Aqua online certification online. We're almost done with it finally, so I'm excited about that. So developing online and live education for health and fitness professionals. Tyler has been a presenter on the fitness speaking circuit for the last 4 years, lecturing on topics such as sport performance, personal trainer, business development, and fitness industry marketing strategies. So thank you again, Tyler, for being on this call, because I know that all 3 of you have different perspectives and just some great value that you're going to give to all our listeners today. So let's see if we've got, all right. Good. All right. So we're going to start with our McCall on our first question, which is what social media platforms work best for you, McCall?
So I like Instagram. Instagram has been the most user-friendly, easiest way to filter the content that I see, which I like because none of us like being spammed with a bunch of things that we didn't, agree to see. I love that you can choose who you follow. And there are more sponsored, posts now, but it still kind of reads your page and shows you things that you like. So I found a lot of success with Instagram. That's like the only platform that I really use.
So it looks, when I follow you, you have a lot of virtual videos that you ask for donations or that you sell, or right, and a lot of free stuff that you offer. So you do like an entire workouts on. Do you use the Zoom platform
Exactly.
for that?
So I use both Instagram Live and Zoom. So the Instagram Live, I like that platform now because you can save your entire video to your feed. And that's brand new with the last update they did, which is awesome because I would do these full bar workouts and they would be available for 24 hours, but then they would disappear. So if I wanted to save them, I would have to create a video for YouTube and put it on YouTube, but it would be like a separate video workout. But this now you can save your videos. You can save them up to an hour, which is very great. And then those I just do for free. And then I also teach high fitness on Zoom and I charge for those. So I kind of have a system where I just have people send me a Venmo and then I reply with the meeting ID and the passcode and then they can get into the Zoom. So I feel like having both helps draw more people to my page just because then I can, appeal to more people's likes, and some people like the high impact, some people like the low impact, but yeah, just kind of giving them more content to ingest.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, McCall. Sean, how about you?
Oh, good question. YouTube actually has been very good to me. I'm able to create content, interact with people, and then direct them to, I have two different websites. So I can go to engearment.com for the more gear-based stuff, or we can go to Colorado Personal Fitness for the fitness stuff. And then Facebook. It's easy for me to share things to Facebook and then bring people up to other platforms and engage them there. I suck at Instagram, to be honest. I mean, there's a picture of my dog in a mountain sometimes. That's about it. So I'm learning from you guys here on how to do that better. But yeah, so YouTube, website, Facebook, and the podcast has been helpful too, because people like to listen when they do workouts and stuff. Tyler's been a guest. It's been a lot of fun doing that too.
Yeah, it's fun doing the podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Thank you. How about you, Tyler?
Yeah, from a business perspective, I think of things in terms of how easy things can be. So if I am utilizing Instagram, I can post immediately to Facebook from there. So whether it's a company that I'm consulting for, or if it's just one of the companies that I run, I always start at Instagram just because then I can post directly to Facebook. A common question that I always get is about Twitter. And because Twitter, in my opinion, it's a funny place. It's a stream of conscious. So you just get people that just put whatever out there, and some people ingest it, but what about for businesses? And the way that I put it, and I've been saying this for at least the last 3 years, is that I can't say that Twitter doesn't provide a benefit for my business, because I have gotten business from it. I have gotten sales from Twitter. And so for me, I just use it as another place that if it just is a quick and easy copy and paste to Twitter for a business, awesome, included in my flow in terms of where I'm posting. And then something to think about. And, for this one, I'm going to say LinkedIn. I would say it's up in the air. It depends what your business is. If you're a gym or if you are a personal trainer, is LinkedIn really going to help out with things? Probably not. But I will say that LinkedIn does provide a positive link back to your website. So when Google crawls your website or when it crawls the internet, if you have a link coming back from a credible source like LinkedIn, that does help with ranking. Ranking is not much, but it does help when you do have credible links coming from that aspect. So I would say the 4 that I utilize for almost every business is Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I don't really go into the whole TikTok and Snapchat just because I don't know how to use them. But those other 4, I use them pretty good. And as Sean mentioned with YouTube, and if people tuned in for my webinars with Fitness Fest, I love YouTube. And that's actually where a lot of the clips do come from.
Okay, cool. And it really does depend on, like, are you doing a group fitness virtual workout, or are you doing just so it does depend on what you do, I'm sure. But I would kind of assume that any of these should be explored by everybody to see what fits and where you get the most, most looks, likes, loves, all that kind of stuff. So let's move on to question number 2. Where should a beginner start? Because how many on the call, if you want to put in the chat, are you really just starting out and really want to know, how do I start? What is the best platform for me? So just if you don't mind telling us if you're a beginner. So where should a beginner start? Sean, let's start with you.
I love this question. Start yesterday. Yeah, just do it. It's never going to be perfect. Don't wait for that moment. I have talked to so many people in this industry that we all look up to, the Pat Flynn's, Dan John, Pat Rigsby, all these people. Just start. You have a phone, turn around, film. It's going to suck, but you keep getting those reps in and keep getting better. So yeah, immediately.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And, that's interesting. And so my business is posted a lot, does video. So I'm not a beginner, but I don't understand, I suck at technology. So again, like Tyler is making me, buy the equipment and then no, you didn't turn your phone got to do landscape. So it's nice if you have somebody who can help you go, that looked like shit in a nice way. Redo it and tell you what to do, because there's just so much to it. But I totally agree with you, Sean. It's like, just start, have a friend look at it, just start and start playing with it. Yeah. Because it's here, and it's the only way we're going to get our message out, whatever our message is. So.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yep. Start yesterday. Good, Sean. All right. Tyler.
I would honestly say, and this is, it's funny to me because I told you that I did my webinars with Fitness Fest on YouTube, but go to YouTube. I love YouTube. I say that all the time. I probably go to YouTube at least 3, 4, 5 times a day. And it's not just for, I'll say, looking up how-tos. I use it for other reasons in terms of watching an old clip of something, a new hobby that I picked up. I go on there to watch old Formula One races, but there's so many how-tos. That's what some people forget, is that YouTube is the second largest search engine. So YouTube has so many great clips on why certain platforms are great, how-tos. If you have any questions in terms of how do I make a video, what is the best video aspect? If you're editing, what do I export it into? All those kinds of questions depending upon what you're using. If you're using an iPhone, okay, well, what if I'm editing it? Well, YouTube will have a video for that. I'm going to be using iMovie, or I'm going to be using Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro. If you're using any of those types of options, it's going to help you out in terms of being able to log on there, find the how-tos, and on there you'll see so many videos that are XYZ. They'll show you how to break it down, show you where to click, all that kind of stuff. And that's why I really say YouTube is such a great resource.
Cool. And once Tyler did a kind of a beginner and then a follow-up to using YouTube. And once that's edited and ready for resale, a lot of you might be really interested in that. So we'll get back to you on that. We had a question about Alignable. Is anyone finding success with this new platform?
I created an account, but that's as far as I've gone. So I don't really know much about it yet.
Yeah, I've had an account for like 3 years or 2 years. I can't honestly say I've benefited from it.
Okay. There's our answer, guys. one of my Beat Boss friends. And Julia asked, I learned how to use Zoom and Band. I don't know what Band is, but on YouTube. So Julia's very smart to do that. So.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube's where it's at,
cool.
Honestly.
Yeah. All right. Question number 2A. What were some of the mistakes? And I need honesty. What's that?
I didn't get to answer number 2.
Oh, so thank you. See?
Didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, I'm glad you did. McCall.
Okay. So
where should a beginner start?
So the reason why I have really just focused on Instagram alone, I mean, yes, I've dip my toe into other platforms a little, but it takes a lot of time. Like it really does. And we're all busy. And if you want to really pursue something, I feel like the focus of it is important. So once you start, establish your why and just figure out like, what's your purpose? Like, are you just doing it for fun? Are you doing it to connect with, family members in another state or friends, or are you trying to make a business out of this? And really keep that at the root of what you're posting and your content all together. I love what Sean said about like, don't be too precious about what you put out there. Like, just get it out there. I think so many of us get hung up on what we're posting and the perfect caption and all the things, which I've definitely been there, but I find that it's best just to get the content out. Like, because once it's out, you can move on and yep. People are going to connect with certain things. So just kind of getting stuff out there. If it inspires you, if it resonates with you, post it. And the people who, are drawn to that, that's going to be your tribe. That's going to be the people that connect with you. So, don't try to fit into some certain mold. Just put yourself out there and you're going to find those people that connect with that.
I love that. And I think all you guys that are listening in, I think you should really take a look at all three of these speakers, like what they do, and follow them, because they have some awesome stuff. I mean, I know firsthand that I've done, stuff that McCall has put out there, and I don't know that, it looks amazing, and it's fun. So all these guys and see, and it's not that maybe you don't do high fitness, but the point is, see how they do it and what they do and what inspires you, what from that particular speaker or follower or, does that inspires you that maybe you can learn from. So that's great. All right, then now I'm on 2A, right? So what were some of the mistakes you learned through trial and error? And I want to hear some dirt, okay? I want to hear some real stuff.
Janice, do you mind if I go back to that last question and just chime in one little thing on that?
Yeah, I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all.
So with it, going to certain people's social media platforms, you can also see how they post if you're trying to pick up little tips here and there. If you're putting something on social media, it's not like it's a trade secret or anything. So even if you go to, I'll say, the Fitness Fest social Instagram, or if you go to the KIPS Instagram, or even my Instagram, or even the video I just posted, there's a certain style of terms of what I post and how I post it. And it's mostly because I want to maximize the amount of likes, new followers, or items like that. So even how I like how it looks. So on Instagram, I only put a maximum of 3 hashtags in the description, and then you'll see that I post the hashtags after. It's because I like it that way, so that when I post, as I mentioned earlier, I post directly to Facebook after that. So if I'm with that in mind, that's why I only put 3 hashtags in the post on Instagram, because I don't want that whole big thing of hashtags going into Facebook right after that. So that's why I'm saying, if you like how somebody posts, you see that somebody's really crushing it on Instagram, go see what they're doing. It's not a secret. You can just copy what they're doing.
That's good advice.
Okay, I'm going to butt in here now. So being a social non-expert that I am, we were told, so when we when we take something from Instagram to Facebook, we then go into Facebook and get rid of all the hashtags, maybe leave 1 or 2 just for fun. But isn't that what isn't that what you guys have learned too, is you're not really supposed to have hashtags in Facebook. So we always take them out.
I never take mine. Yeah.
What's that?
Go ahead, John.
Oh, I don't take them out. I only go back to Facebook to re-tag the brands that we work with. Like say I do a review for Patagonia. I'll make sure that that's re-tagged in Facebook. And so that's all I care about. And then people see the tags. Most of my tags are like kind of funny and stupid. So I like to keep them in there, keep it lighthearted.
Right. Because like when we do Instagram, we try to do a good 25 hashtags. So then, we go into, if it's the same post, we go into Facebook and we get rid of them.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And the reason also with getting rid of them is in my opinion, I don't think Facebook places too much emphasis on the hashtags, but what I do and this does go for Fitness Fest as well, is that especially if it's a video, you can go in and put detailed tags on it, or you can tag a business, or you can tag an individual or locations, those kinds of things. So you, when you go to Facebook, go to edit post, and this new screen will pop up, and there's tags in there that you can put, which do they help? I don't know. It's Facebook, but it's definitely something I'll consider an extra step. If it does help, why not as a small business?
Right. Right. Okay. So we're ready for 2A now, right? What are
Yes.
some of the mistakes you learned through trial and error, Tyler?
Okay. I would honestly, and it's going to be another one that I say all the time, is get a tripod. Just get a tripod. I mean, the one that, and before we even started, about 5 minutes before, I said, okay, I got to go get something, because I actually used it today. The video that I posted on my Instagram today, if you follow me, I know that some of the people in here do follow me on Instagram as well. I filmed that at like 10 a.m. at the park, and I used this tripod right here with this camera rig. This whole setup is $30. And I recommended it to, look at Janice. Janice even has one too.
Even Janice.
So $30, and you have
Yeah.
a great setup that's going to make sure that your videos are stable, especially if you're filming content. And I like the comment that just came in there from Julia about, she said that she tapes her phone to the wall.
Yeah, that's hardcore.
Julia,
honestly,
you shouldn't say that out loud, but you did. Just kidding.
$30, you have a great setup. Especially, I like this Zadia camera rig, because you can put a shotgun microphone right here. You could put multiple light sources right here. You don't know where you're going to be filming, but making sure that it's stable, that it looks good. You don't want to be that person that just puts your camera in the grass or try to lean it against something. And you're like, wait, what are they doing in that video? Just get a tripod, spend $30. You can have this whole setup right here. And honestly, it'll make videos so much better.
Well, tell them about that top piece you bought for my birthday for me. I thought I was getting jewelry, but I got
So I bought Janice this camera rig. This is the Zadia thing that I mentioned. And it's $15. There are so many other ones. I have another one in the closet in that back corner over there. And for $15, you get one that has all these attachments on it. There are ones where you just literally just hook it up and then just clamp it onto it. But just think about the attachments that you can get. And this one as well, if you are into portrait mode, which I don't like, you could put this on top of your tripod in portrait mode if you do.
So
like
you put your, I don't know if everyone knows, you put your phone in there, guys.
Yeah, you can put
Maybe
your phone
everybody
in there.
does do that. So
I'll
gotta
just
talk in
quickly do it.
simple terms for some of us, okay? So Tyler will let you know where to get that stuff if you want. So did you want to say anything else about some of the mistakes you learned, trial and error, Tyler, besides the tripod?
Honestly, it's just practice and reps, making sure that, just be willing to learn and try something. A lot of the stuff that I learned was actually from my wife. My wife is actually the one that has the background in marketing and has been a marketing coordinator for companies. And I learn a lot from her. She teaches me things, and just being willing to learn those as well.
Okay, cool. McCall, you're up.
All right. So, for about a year, I ran these fitness challenges where I would just do like a 1 month or 3 week fitness challenge. And I did that for a year before it hit me that like, I didn't love it. I was wasting my time. I did learn some things along the way, but if I would have established like my why earlier, like we had talked about in the first question, I think that I would have just ditched that altogether and would have had a whole bunch of my life back because they consume so much time. So whatever you're doing, again, just establishing that why and being able to contribute your time to the things that matter to you. Also, ditch the parameters on what you think your profile should look like. I think Ty was saying that, sometimes you go to other people's pages. I mean, obviously we do that all the time, but to find inspiration or to see how people post. And I think a lot of the times when we do that, we kind of get our mindset that is how we should look, when in reality, we can't, it's impossible. Like you can't look exactly like someone else. We all have our own superpowers. And so we're gonna, if we just embrace that and post the things that help our audience get to know us and get to know who we are, all while sharing our content. I think that is a game changer, and just being able to, draw people to your page. And then last is like, it's unfortunate and kind of annoying, but you do have to play the algorithm game. You've got to post at good times. You've got to share your posts from your feed to your story, show your face. So many people don't like to show their face. There's filters for that. Just, like put on a pretty filter and talk to the camera. People really, really like being the person behind the brand as well. That's, that kind of makes you human and will draw people in. So, make it personal.
Awesome. Great advice. Sean, you're on.
Excellent question. Is this in regards to just online content or like fitness in general?
Well, more online, but if you want to tell
Okay.
us another screw up, that's okay too.
Oh, I got plenty of screw ups. Yeah. I was like, where do I start? Well, I think the big one, no matter what you're doing, whether it's online or offline, is creating something that you think people want, but they don't. You're creating for crickets. I've done this a lot of times. So it might be advisable to some people to pitch an idea to their audience and see if that's something they want. And if it is, then double down on it, right? Save a lot of time that way.
Okay, cool. Good advice. All right. Number 3, what are some key pieces you use to develop content? I think we're starting with McCall on that one.
Okay. So when I first started, my fitness Instagram, my main goal was to build a community, to draw people to come to my classes, because I was doing 100% of the advertising on my own. Simultaneously, I had my personal Instagram over here, right? So on my fitness Instagram, I started it with that in mind. I just wanted to get people to come to my classes, build a community. And the only thing that I did was I was super consistent with posting. So I think that's very important, is the consistency piece. If you're just starting out and you want to start small, even like once a week is better than nothing. Like I would post my schedule. I had these little key things that I would always post, and those have never changed. I've always, kind of kept those up. And with consistency over time, it's just that grind that, it takes a minute for people to come, and then people will come. So making sure that you're consistent with those goals and whatever you're wanting to post. Also thinking about what will serve your audience. Like, what are you normally getting a lot of feedback on? What are you getting a lot of likes, comments, interaction with? What do people want to see? Because they'll tell you, they'll tell you what they like and what they, you'll hear crickets when it's something that doesn't resonate with most of the people. So serve your audience. And like we talked about earlier, just if it inspires you and resonates, like just put it out there, and it's going to draw those people in that want to be part of your tribe.
Awesome. Thank you. Sean, how about you? What are some key pieces you use to develop content?
She has some really good points right there. I'll try and add to that. So good content that serves the audience in the best way possible, efficiently, and brings them value. Like you just, from your heart to them, how are you going to help them? And then creating the actual content itself. It can be as simple as using your smartphone and the microphone. And there's little tricks and tips that Tyler's really good about this, about like where to set the camera, deadening the room, free light, natural light. Those are really easy ways to have a quick win. For me, when I create a video for YouTube, I go a little bit further. I have, different cameras than just the smartphone. Microphones help. Nobody's going to watch a video, as cool as it is, if it has horrible audio. I learned that the hard way. I would go into Blizzard and shoot videos. I'm like, I'm training in the mountains. I'm like, nobody cares because they can't hear. So audio is very important. Again, you don't have to buy much stuff, but just take in consideration the person viewing it, listening to it. How would they want to perceive it?
Okay, great. guys are giving some great advice, some great information. Thank you. Tyler, how about you?
Yeah, just to kind of back up again, what McCall said is about what value are you bringing? I mean, I've done consulting for a variety of gyms, and it's always what makes your gym unique, what makes it different. So for an example, a gym that I'm consulting right now, they have a very large outdoor space. So how much content can I make for them that highlights that? So what makes you different? What are you putting out there that's awesome? So if you go to their Instagram, you'll see videos from the people that's there. You'll see videos from the outdoor space, all things highlighting what makes them great. And then the consistency thing, just like McCall said, it's so huge. I post every single day for companies that I consult for or that I run every single day. And I will tell it right now is that's how I've honestly made a name for myself, is that I'm consistent every single day. If it's Saturday, Sunday, I'm posting. I'm making sure I'm doing that. My own personal Instagram, that's another question. I can honestly say that I sometimes let that go on the wayside, that I just don't put enough attention to it. And that's mostly just because I'm busy with doing the business items. But from a business perspective, highlight who you are, what you're trying to do, and all that will come through. But I did see a great question in there about the name thing and your username. That's actually something that I picked up by looking at somebody that was running a great business when I switched over. So even when I was working for a company, I would switch my name on my handle on Instagram to that. So it'd be Tyler_company name. I think it's a great way to build brand awareness. That's why I have my current username is Tyler_KipsOnline. I think it's a great way just that shows you're a part of the brand, you're part of that company. And I think it's something that I would recommend.
Okay, cool. I think we'll get to a couple of these other questions before we get too far away from them, because I know Andrea asked something that Sean said. She said, Sean, I missed that. Pitch to audience and then talk about it? Question mark.
Yes. This is I was talking to Pat Flynn about this about a month ago and they do this all the time. If you get his emails or other people's emails like that, they'll pitch an idea. Hey, how about this 21-day fat loss challenge? And if, a lot of people bite on it, then he'll go out and create it, immediately. If nobody bites on it, then they didn't want it. He moves on to the next thing. And I've learned from him to do that, because I spent months creating an online course I thought was going to solve the whole world's problems, and not one person cared. So learn the hard way. Get a feeler, ask your audience, like, what do they want? What do you guys want? And then go double down and create that for them. Serve their itch, scratch it.
Cool. Andrea also asked, I learned to put hashtags in comments, not the post. Are you talking about an Instagram post? Is that a good strategy? Andrea, is this Instagram? You want to unmute yourself? Yes, she said, okay. I learned to put hashtags in comments, not the post. Is that a good strategy? Guys?
I actually don't know. I don't know if that makes a huge difference. I will kind of do both. Like sometimes I'll do one. I mean, the only thing I found is that it adds one extra comment to your post. But other than that, I don't know if it makes a difference.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we do for Fitness Fest. We do it as the first comment. And I think Gretchen found that out somewhere that was supposedly better. So
right.
We've been following that model for a good while.
Right.
I don't know why, but I mean,
yeah.
why what the perk is, or
yeah.
But
Well, we learned some things from that crazy chick a couple of years ago, and I don't know.
Oh yeah. And some webinars, I think she's been on.
No, not that one.
No, I know who you're talking
this
about.
This chick would not be on the call.
Yeah.
So that's another story. But okay, cool. All right, let's continue so I don't get lost. It happens, guys.
No
Just
way.
slap me. So what are some key pieces you use to develop content? We had McCall, we had Sean, Tyler. Did we finish that one, guys?
I think
so.
You started with me. Yeah, I think you started with me.
No, I think I started, but McCall, you answered that, right? Yep. And
Right.
Sean and Todd.
Yep,
Yeah.
we're good.
Okay, cool. Okay, number 4. What type of platforms are great for storing content to sell? Sean, you're
boy.
up first.
Cool. Here goes some crazy answers. All right. So I'm all about passive income. I have ebooks out there on splitboarding. That's what that is right there. I have an online course through Teachable, which somebody mentioned in the comments. My website has affiliate links. So a person reads an article, if they purchase something, then I get a kickback from that. So, and those are all passive. I can be asleep and I wake up and somebody made a sale and I bought dinner for the family.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a wonderful, I love it. That's what I do. So those are wonderful ways to sell content, and they're evergreen. They're always available. And yeah, so another thing too is collaborating with people. Like writing articles for websites, not just my own, but like for Strong First, I have a few articles on Strong First. In doing so, got my brand in front of a huge audience. And then I worked with Pavel. Hopefully a lot of you know who Pavel is. And his most recent book, The Quick and the Dead, on page 43 is an article that I wrote with him and a Navy SEAL about a training program, and that became the book. So then you have this person doing the audiobook, Pavel saying your name, and that's just even a bigger audience. There's always ways to create content where it's just not like in front of somebody serving them for half an hour, 45 minutes doing fitness. You can incorporate the fitness and create content online that people can access around the world and pay you for it. So there's a lot of ways.
That's great. It looks like we just had a question there that we might want to answer now. What are tax and legal issues with selling content?
I'm an S Corp. I pay taxes and file them. I have a CPA. So I don't know. Make money, pay taxes.
Yeah.
It was a good
Tyler,
question.
Yeah. I'm an S Corp too.
Yeah, I think it just goes with your business setup too, with the taxes and legal issues with it. If your business model is that you're selling content online, that's just going to be a part of your revenue. And as long as you have your tax EIN and you're paying your taxes, you're not to have issues with that kind of that structure. But going back to the question about selling online content, so to not take up too much time, I'm going to quickly hit on Vimeo. That was actually what kind of sparked this FitPro connection. Was I saw a lot of questions online about Vimeo, and that is actually something that Kips and Kettlebell Concepts use to store their online content. So if let's say that you want to make an online course for the general population, that you want to make sure that this is the way that you're going to create your passive income, and you want it to be protected. You don't want people being able to see it and get it for free. Vimeo is a great resource for that. The reason why I chose Vimeo over that is there's features in there that enable you to essentially hide it, that make sure that you can only put it on a certain domain, and that people aren't going to be able to search it, pick it up, or even share it. Or you can even control if someone's going to download it. Things like that make it really great for protecting your content. And then and that is just a very rough explanation of it. There is a lot more that goes into that. If you're using a website, how are you selling it? What kind of merchant processor are you using it? And I could talk about that for a long time. I watched a whole, maybe it was like a 5-6 hour course on how to make that. So I'm just trying to roughly explain it right now. But recently, in the last couple of years, Vimeo also launched their streaming platform. So if you wanted to now stream a workout and also create a way to collect payments for it, have your own branding on it, Vimeo now has that option. That's a great platform to check out. I will say that the one drawback on it, though, is the cost. Is that even if you want to stream on there, it starts at $75, and that's per month. So it is a steep cost, in my opinion, especially if you are a content creator. But some of the other great things on there for the positives are, like I mentioned, the payment gateway. So you can collect payments before. You don't have to install different plugins if you're using WordPress. And then one of the big things that whether if you're streaming or if you are creating the content to then put on your website and sell is that Vimeo allows you to edit it and then re-upload it. On YouTube, you cannot do that. So let's say that you stream a workout through Vimeo, you pay for the service, you stream it, you can then download it. Let's say that you had some errand, maybe your wife walked in, or your dog barked, or your cat meowed. You could you could download that video, splice that section out, and then re-upload it so that it looks better and it sounds more professional.
That's cool. Didn't know that.
Can you stop and start the subscription if you want it? Like if you pay some.
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know that answer. It's something to really look into if you want to go that route, because like I said, that is a big con in my opinion. $75 is steep. If you can make that up with your classes, if you're selling them for, a good price, and you're getting a good attendance, that $75 is something that you can write off. If we're talking about business and tax write-offs, that's an expense you can write off later on. But to start off, $75 is steep. I don't want to just say that, go check out Vimeo, it's going to be great for you, because that is a big expense in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm sure it depends on your individual situation, and you got to get your return on your investment on that. So, yeah. Someone asked earlier, I don't see the question anymore, about pay or donations, and I'll let you guys answer that. I'm sure it depends on the situation, but like let's say McCall's workouts, I say charge them, man. We're at that point now, I think, right?
Yeah. Is she just talking about charging for like online workouts?
I don't see the question anymore, so I don't know if the person who asked it wants to ask again or unmute themselves. But
yeah, I know it's tough because logically you think, well, anyone could log on to YouTube and find 7 million workouts for free. So why would they want to work out with me? I think that that's a common feeling. And I just think that it comes down to, again, just like drawing people to your energy and letting them, I do think that it's important to give some free content. So that's like why I put my bar classes up for free. I do a lot of snippets of high fitness. And yes, I could do either of those for free all the time, but who wants to work for free all the time? So like, I think that a lot of it too stems from confidence. Like just have confidence in yourself and, put yourself out there and see what bites you get. I charge $2 a head on Zoom, which is nothing. Like people spend more on a soda, in a day than that. It's just pocket change. No one thinks about $2. But if people weren't coming for $2, I'd maybe do it for $1, so that you're still, because you've got costs associated with teaching. So yeah, I think it's kind of a scenario situation where you just kind of got to feel it out and serve your people and see what takes and what doesn't.
right, and someone asked how you charge, and I know you do Venmo, so
Venmo.
I know you yeah. I don't know about the guys, that type of thing.
Yeah, and I think Sylvia just said donations. I think that's great too. I've done that in the past too. Just been like, donations are appreciated, but come if you can,
Right. It's a call, but so $2 pretty cheap. Like on a good day, like how much do you make?
When quarantine was hot, when we were all locked down, I would get around like 60 or 70 a class, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And now that, more gyms have started opening, I kind of hover around 30, which is still super worth it to me,
Right. Especially you've got kids and the daycares aren't always open at the gyms where you teach. And like you said earlier, I mean, this kind of stuff takes a lot of time. Your time is valuable. Our time is valuable. And a lot of people are doing these virtual workouts for group fitness anyway. Like Jaquise, what she was saying, she goes, this is taking, I can't believe how much time it takes.
It's stressful. Yeah. And
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure, and, technology, you can't always trust it. And yeah. So, and there's, with Zoom, it's great because you can connect with people all over the world. Like I have, a good friend in Puerto Rico, a good friend in Peru, and all over the country. You know, there's a lot of places that are still on strict lockdown, so they really appreciate the Zoom classes. Plus, honestly, I feel like when people put a little skin in the game, it holds them
Right.
accountable. You know, it makes them show up. It makes them
Absolutely.
go the whole hour. Yeah. So I like
Yeah.
that.
Somebody's doing dishes in the background there, so I don't know who I need to mute.
Aggressive dishes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so where are we? What type of platforms are great for storing content? Sean, Tyler, McCall, did everybody answer that?
I didn't yet.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. There was one other question that I wanted to touch on, which was about stories. Was it from Andrea? Andrea, I assume you're talking about stories on Instagram or Facebook. Is that right?
I assumed that too. It was actually about pitching stories to companies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was been chatting with her.
Publications.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to touch on that, but if not, just, yeah, with stories on both of those platforms, stories tend to get more traffic than your feed. So that's kind of the trick to always, like why I say always post whatever you post to your feed, like link it to your story, because those tend to get more traffic. Just a little,
Cool.
you know, fun tip for you. But as for me, the way that I sell content, you know, is by teaching classes. So from the beginning, more of my selling content has been focused on how do I build a community, because that's how I'm going to get people to come back again and again and again. So with that, what I've really noticed is that connection is key. That you've just got to really connect with the people who show up for you. Make sure that they're seen, they're heard, make them feel appreciated. Give them that, you know, big, there you are type of welcome, rather than like standing in the background, here I am, you know. The physicality of group fitness and just fitness in general just tends to break us down in ways that brings on certain emotions, not break us down, but brings out certain emotions. Just we're more, you know, vulnerable, and it connects us on a super unique level. So I found that connection runs deep for sure. So just making your people feel valued and loved and, you know, seen goes a really long way.
Awesome, thank you. All right, our last question. What privacy settings do you recommend on YouTube and Vimeo? Tyler, is this when you're gonna, I'll let Sean talk first, but is this when you're gonna bring on the,
The screen share?
yeah.
Yeah. But,
Okay.
Sean, do you want to start off?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, Sean, you must start off.
Sure. I'll be real quick. I don't have any settings for that. My stuff's all public. Like, I'm not selling through YouTube per se. I may get money from YouTube for the videos, because if you have over 1,000 subscribers, there's ads. So yeah, I'm loose goose. I just put it up there, take it, use it.
All right, that's because you live in Colorado.
That's right, I'm a hippie. I love it.
All right, Tyler, you're on.
Yeah. So I got it pulling up right now, and I'm going to do a screen share in a second to show you guys actually live what settings you can use on Vimeo and why I think it's great. But I did want to share one alternate example because the whole payment processing thing is such a interesting topic, and we want to make sure that we're making money for these things. So when I did used to, at one point, I was an actual trainer. I'm not just not behind a computer and in front of a camera. But at one point I was a trainer. And when I ran a boot camp, I actually set a lot of this, but this was years, I feel like I'm telling them like I'm like older right now, but this was years ago. And I set up a reoccurring payments through PayPal. And that fee for PayPal Pro, I think, or PayPal Business was, I think, $25 a month. But then I could set up reoccurring payments for my members, for my boot camp. And so I would have them go on the website, fill out the form, and they could essentially fill it out. And each month on the date that they initially sign that up, boom, payment comes in. So this is another option to look at, and that's through PayPal. And the reason why I bring that one up is that it's a merchant that people recognize and that they know that it's going to be safe. I know that right now, or even anytime, people are always weary about putting their credit card information out there. They're worried about if their their credit card information is going to get out there. So PayPal is a trusted thing, in my opinion. And so utilizing in that aspect, it's a way to just build that comfort. And really, it was honestly just making the form, and there's YouTube videos on how you can create these, and you essentially just take that code and then you embed it into your website, and boom, now you have a payment option on your website. And you can do that, like I said, reoccurring payment option. That was really nice for people that want to have that reoccurring charge on there. So right now, and I feel like I'm just talking so much, but I'm going to show you all privacy settings on Vimeo, which really make it useful in terms of creating a library of exercises. So let's say that you want to make a library of exercises or course that you want to make for the general public. I know that this is something that Sean has done with different items, but I'm recommending Vimeo here, and it's still loading in the back. So that's why I'm still kind of rambling right now.
Good job.
Okay, so you guys should hopefully be able to see my screen right now. And so on here is Vimeo, and it's still loading. And this is actually, as Janice mentioned, we have a course that we developed online for her Aqua, and it's still loading right now. But I mentioned a little bit earlier about the privacy settings. So one, Vimeo, you can hide it from Vimeo. So people just can't go in there, search, find it, and watch it. Another item on here is that I like is that you can select the thumbnail. So if you wanted to, this is another thing on YouTube that you can do. You can essentially upload your own thumbnail, but the ones that I really do like on here are the specific domains. So essentially, we can select what domain we want it to be on. So if you have your website, so this is another added layer of protection. So you could essentially put your domain right here, add it there, and then if anybody tried to embed it anywhere else, they can't. They'll get a block screen. So it really protects your videos, your content right there. And then all these other items here are things that I deselect as well. So one, people can't download it. They can't take it, share it with somebody else. You don't want your content being out there, people being able to utilize it, put it anywhere that they want. On Vimeo, they have these things called collections. So if somebody watches a video, they can essentially add it to their collection and they can watch it whatever you want. We don't want them doing that thing. And then I'm not going to click the privacy over here because it's going to take too long for it to load. But when you embed it too, and this is another big benefit of Vimeo, in my opinion, is you can actually tell Vimeo what you want to show on the screen. So you don't see a Vimeo logo on here. You don't see anything that's coming from them. I wanted to just show the play button. I wanted to show the volume and a full screen. That's it. So you could take off the title. You could take off the company name, things like that, that really make it nice for you, that it just looks like it's professional and essentially just part of your website. And the reason why you want to do things like this, that you want to embed things, is you want your website to be fast. If you were to just put a video on your website of a workout video, that is a huge file. But if you put it in something like Vimeo or YouTube and then you embed it, it's just embed code there, and your website is pulling that from that other website. So it makes it lightweight and easy to load.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyler.
That was cool.
For that visual. All right. We like the visuals. All right, McCall.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've never actually used Vimeo myself. I've just used Zoom. And I know that like recently, you guys have probably heard there's been a lot of like Zoom hackers. So with that, the only thing that I found to, stay safe and protect me and my participants is changing the Zoom code every time, adding the passcode or changing the meeting ID for every different meeting, which is kind of a pain when you have to individually send out the, meeting ID to everyone, but it's quick. You just copy and paste along with the passcode, adding a passcode, and then just check your settings that like you're the only one who can host the meeting and share the screen and all that. All of that can be found in Zoom settings, which will all help, you to not get hacked.
That's good.
Cool. All right. That wraps up our questions, our formal questions, but would love to hear from you guys individually how these three experts can help you, because I mean this was a lot to go over. A lot of it maybe was over a lot of people's heads, and maybe need a little more clarification or whatever. So would love to hear your chats, guys.
Why are you saying my stuff is over their head, Janice? I know you're saying that.
Did you call me an expert?
I know you're going to text me after and say that it was too technical and that I shouldn't have said that.
No, I'm not going to say that at all. I have a feeling, okay, use the reaction button down there. Like I think Vimeo is really new to people. And I think a lot of people would like to feel, right. What's that?
There's a question in the chat about Vimeo.
Okay.
Just make sure that you thumbs down Janice when it's her time to speak. Okay.
If Tyler wants to answer that question.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tyler.
So Andrea, well, I know.
I know exactly, Sylvia, right? Can I hire you, Tyler? That's it.
So Andrea's question was about Vimeo, the Vimeo library. Do you have to pay $75 a month, or do they have other options? So they essentially do have two options. So you can either do a yearly fee. So that's what I actually do each year is I pay a yearly fee to store my content on there. And so I have an upgraded account. It's not a basic account with them. And I will say that since I've used Vimeo, I've never paid full price for it. They always give me like a 20% discount, or I found one online to save 25%. But that's just to store the content. If you want to do their streaming option, that does start at $75 a month, which again, I've talked about how that is a con in my book, because that is steep for a provider. And if I was to, I'll say, if I was still, that's funny I say this, if I was still in the game of training, I might look honestly at different options first, using Zoom, using PayPal to create some type of option that you can create the reoccurring payment, still set up your privacy, still set up your I'll call it your firewall, so that people aren't just getting in, and that you still have that monthly revenue coming in.
Awesome. Okay. Sylvia wants to hire you, Tyler. She said I'm serious.
We'll see. We'll see.
I get it, Sylvia. I'm like, yeah, he's teaching me every day and forcing me out of my comfort zone.
She's got good stuff. I'm using a Scarlett right now, going into the computer. So good for you, Sylvia. That's a great start.
I had to.
Go ahead. Who was that?
It's Sylvia. I had to hire a sound system guy that helped me out put all of it together. It is amazing because they couldn't hear me when I was teaching in Zoom, and so now with the Scarlett, they can hear the music, they can hear me, and it's amazing. But the next step is how to promote, and that's the difficult part for me.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the difficult part for all of us, and hopefully that the things these three said, earn their trust, ask what they want. Those are some of the things these guys said. If you try one thing and you're getting crickets, okay, maybe that's not what, just build your tribe by kind of trial and error. I know sometimes we want immediate results, but I have a feeling all three of these speakers did not immediately get a huge following, right? Were you guys successful like day one?
No.
Good. I mean, not good, but
yeah,
right?
you have to. You fail
just
forward.
normal.
Yeah, you fail forward. That's how you do it.
Yeah. So
there's a good question here from Stacy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question too. About.
You want to go first, Tyler?
Sure. So I have an iPhone 8. I don't have the newest iPhone, and that's really because I have other gear that works well, so I don't invest in a nicer iPhone. But I don't know if they sell the iPhone 8 anymore. But if you get something that's more recent with iPhone, and I don't want to say that Android does not make good stuff, but with an iPhone or an Android, you can put it into 4K. So it's really easy to do that. You can hook up a shotgun microphone if you just buy, Janice calls them a dongle. But if you buy the adapter.
It is a dongle.
Yeah.
It's a fancy word.
If you buy the adapter from the microphone that turns it into the thing that iPhone puts for their phones. But really, if you want to, and this is something that I've been trying to get to make a video for making a budget package. If you want to make content for YouTube or Vimeo, because I did extensive research in why I purchased a certain camera, the one that I'm filming through. So my camera and also Sean's, you might notice that we have a little bit clearer content. Nothing against yours, McCall.
It's a fantastic call.
But we have essentially a setup that enables us to utilize our mirrorless cameras for our webcam that really just makes it that much better. And, you know, I have a light above me. It was only $45, but I would say just start with an upgraded iPhone, one that enables you to film in 4K. Get the shotgun microphone that costs $35. Get the tripod, get the video rigged for that, and boom. And I know it costs $100 because I made a YouTube video about it, and you can easily make quality stuff.
Absolutely. And through trial and error and a lot of talking back and forth with Tyler over the last 3 months, we've learned to answer your question first, the iPhone in 4K is all you need, really. I have a G9. I'm filming through a G7 with a Leica lens, blah, blah, blah. It's high grade stuff. You don't need that. iPhone, and I'll tell you the best $200 purchase I've made, and this fixes the audio, wireless lapel microphones. Seriously. Put it on here. This other part goes into the dongle, Janice, into the phone. And that's how you do it. And my tripod, it's so tiny. Look at this little guy. It just goes on a little tripod right there, right? Holds the phone, and it's got a cold shoe. Cold shoe allows the receiver to go right there. And then go create your content. Edit it in iMovie, which is free. And go do it.
That's great. Thank you for including the dongle in that conversation as well. Yep. Thank you very much. That's good stuff. Does everybody know what they mean by turning it into 4G or
4K?
4K. Wrong letter. Because you just taught me that.
Yeah, tell us how to do that.
Okay, I'll do it right now for everybody.
Thank you.
Hook them up, Tyler.
Hook them up.
Hold on.
Hook us up.
I have an image for that. Let me see if it's in my downloads because I don't have my external. Not to get
and while he's looking, guys, he made this amazing tutorial, and I don't know if any of you got it in one of the follow-up emails, but it's a free tutorial on just like where to get this stuff, the tripod and Tyler let me use his, just what you were talking about, Sean, the little lapel.
Yeah,
so
those are like $20.
Yeah, right. And you know, I've got all this darn equipment that he.
Yeah, the Audio Technica 1200. Yep, classic.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't have my.
That was only $15 too.
Score.
So if you have your iPhone and you want to put it into 4K for when you record, so I'm going to go through with you. So if you open your phone, you go to your settings. I'm watching on here, seeing if anybody has their phone with them. So if you scroll down. Find camera. So once you find camera, you'll see preserve settings, grid, scan QR codes, record video, record slow-mo. Record video is what you want to select right there. And then you should have options to record different. So you'll see 720 HD at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 30 frames per second, yada, yada. I always recommend 4K at 30 frames per second. Somebody might ask, well, what about 60 frames per second? It's higher on the list. The only real, I'll say, reason somebody will use 60 frames per second, because it is a much bigger file, is when they're doing some type of slow-mo stuff, just because you can see it more clearly. But really, 30 frames per second is all you need right there. And boom, now whenever you open your camera on your phone, now your videos will be in 4K. That easy.
I know.
And I can tell you one more benefit about filming in 4K, and this is going to be very user-friendly. When you shoot in 4K, you have much more surface, more incoming audio or video at least. And if you're probably not perfectly framed in your video, you can go into iMovie or whatever editing software and crop in, and you don't lose the high definition because you have the 4K, if that makes sense. So you could have a bad angle, right? And you can crop in and still retain 1080p HD, which still looks fantastic on anybody's smartphone or tablet.
Great.
So Janice, they have some questions on here that you might want to answer about correcting voice and audio. I'm just kidding.
Like, whoa, this is what I need for that question. Can everybody see this?
Benzos, nice.
My anti-anxiety roll for that question. Your turn.
So
Go, Tyler.
With the only way that I know to do it, and this would be another investment and another learning curve. I've been learning on Adobe products for years, ever since I started making online education in 2012. Is that I use Premiere Pro, so I have a very upgraded software service that I utilize, and I can essentially utilize it to sync audio and video up for me when I do edit it. But that's really the only way that I know how to do it, just because that's a tough one with streaming services. So like I might be out of sync right now, depending upon where you're watching it, or even my internet. So even when right now we're doing this at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, it might be out of sync just because there's a lot of people using the internet. There's a lot, you got to take all these things into account, what time it is, how many people are on the internet, how much bandwidth, your own computer, all those things go into it. But with editing, that's just a tougher one, just because it's, you might have to invest in a service like Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro for them to automatically see. It sounds bad when I say it, or it's easy when I say this, but essentially it'll do it for me. Premiere Pro, I can highlight it, 2 audio clips and a video, and it'll just boom, sync them for me. But that does cost me $50 a month to have all that.
Okay.
When I do my live high fitness class, this is really important because I want to be on sync with my music for my participants in the background. What I do, I share my screen, like it just pulls up my iTunes, but I do not share my computer sound. That's been the game changer for me. If you share your computer sound, the sound will come out of your participant speakers like incredible. It'll sound like the music is actually coming from their computer, but the trade-off is that you're completely silent and your movement, you're like 2 counts behind the music. So I have just unclicked that box to share computer sound, and the music is not like as crisp and clean, but you can at least hear me cue, and I'm on sync with my music. There haven't really been any better mousetraps that we've found, and there's a lot of instructors teaching on Zoom. So that's kind of been the trade-off, you know, and most people don't like to watch you doing moves off beat. So people, you know, have voted for like a little downgrade in the quality of sound, but at least you can hear me saying burpee, you know, jump higher, and I'm on track with the music. So
Great. Thank you. Any other questions that we're not getting to? If you guys want to either unmute yourself or type it in again, and didn't want to miss anything, and then we'll start wrapping it up. I thought this was awesome. I thought, you know, it's almost 4:15 now, and I really feel that in particular, even our last several minutes together have been just really getting personal, because everyone just so individually has these questions, and you guys, all 3 of you, have just got some great information and great perspectives on everything. So thank you, the 3 of you.
My pleasure.
Anything else that I've never heard of Patreon, but that means nothing.
I had a quick question. I know we're kind of past, but with our live streaming that we use, setting that to, we've had a little bit of sound, like Andrea had said earlier, we've had some sound video alignment issues. Will setting the iPhone camera to 4K, will that affect like streaming? Will it be, you know, if the internet's not as good and the resolution is higher, will that affect the user end of watching and being in sync?
That's a good question. Tyler, do you know more about that?
So from what I understand, it'll actually be the platform that you're using, because that's actually something that I just recently uncovered with Vimeo, is so that their maximum resolution that you can stream through them is actually only 1080p. So checking with the platform that you're utilizing, see what their maximum is. So maybe if you downgrade your camera, it might receive it better. But that's just something to play with, because I'm not sure on the other platforms what their maximum resolution is for their cameras. But I just know that for Vimeo, just because I just saw that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'm putting this in the chat, but I will send a recap probably Sunday or Monday. Tomorrow I have my aqua training. We've got no live streams for sale, like live ones, but we are selling, I put in the chat, we had 2 great ones on YouTube from Tyler. We had a great social media one from Deborah Atkinson. Oh, and you can get CECs from them as well. So as soon as, I think we're not really selling them, right, Tyler, until we get it up on WordPress, or can
Correct.
we? Yeah.
Not yet, but that
Soon.
will be pretty soon, very soon.
Yeah, just in the next several days. So I'll put that information in the recap. What else do you guys want to see? I mean, I don't know how many of these Fit Pro connections, though. How else can we help? How else can we support? Stacy's got a question here too. So, and then, so please let us know, because there's lots of ideas, but you know, what do you guys want? You want more of this? What do you want? Put it in the chat or email me.
Does McCall, do you want to handle that question?
Yeah, from Stacy. I feel like that these feelings are totally normal, and that you will get more confidence over time. I have most definitely, experienced this as well. And I grew my business really small, like just very, one step at a time. And Stace, I've seen your stuff, and your stuff is amazing. And I am always, impressed in using your material. So I just feel like it's continually, just putting yourself out there, and you'll get more confidence. I just feel like it's that taking one step in front of the other, and just believing in yourself, just putting it out, like we talked about, like not being too precious, just letting it go and forgetting about it. Don't check your phone after you post it, for a little while. Just let it be. Yeah. And I feel like sometimes that's the best way to put things out there that are maybe like nerve-wracking or have a emotion behind it, but it's good too, because you're stretching and growing and building confidence and skills.
That's so true. And Stacy, for McCall to say that, she's been, she sees your stuff. I don't think there's too many people who don't feel that way. I know I certainly do, and I certainly want to delete a lot of stuff. I'm like, oh my God, look at the bags under my eyes. Oh my God, look at this. Oh good, my God, look at that. So, but you know what? We got to keep putting ourselves out there and grow that confidence, and that's just the perfect advice. So yeah. Just grow and really it's growth. And if we're not growing, what are we doing?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. If it's not uncomfortable, we're not growing, right?
Yeah. I know. Scary shit, but.
Amen to that.
Right? Yeah.
I'm trying to find Stacy here. Where is she on this thing? There you are. Stacy, where are your hashtags? I just found you on Instagram. Where are your hashtags in your posts? How are we supposed to find you?
That's the thing. I've been on this fence of, like, I get so much anxiety. I'm like, I don't know if I even want people to see me, because right now I'm like pretty local. I just
even locally.
So I'm on this fence of, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? But honestly, my anxiety has held me back, because I literally am like, what are people thinking about me? So
this is solid stuff. These are solid posts, but if you if you use your hashtags, you're going to get these out there, and people are going to see them. It's quality. I mean, your angles. I mean, how you present it in terms of, you have a title image. You got to get it out there. I didn't mean to give you the finger. I was just flipping through.
Okay.
But this looks good. You just got to use some hashtags. Get it out there, girl.
Okay.
Yeah. And look at how cute you are. Can you see this? Want me to send you some of this anti-anxiety
Yeah, can
roll-on
you?
that I just got today in the mail?
Yeah, that would be great.
My brother's girlfriend makes it. Give me a case, okay?
Oh, really?
Rub it
Really?
on my body. Take
Well,
a bath in it.
That's something that's part of my platform because I struggle with it so much. And so it's something I try to talk about, but even talking about it, I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to. So anyways, I'm just kind of finding my way right now, but thank you for the encouragement. I really appreciate it.
Here's another thing. People love genuine. They love real. They will love that you just said that like,
Yes.
I don't, I'm afraid, or I fear, I don't like, all that. Most people love genuine. The people who don't love genuine, we don't want them to be our friend anyway.
Yeah, very good point.
No
I have
offense.
two more
Any-
thoughts.
Any
for-
snobs out there?
Yeah. Stacy, two more thoughts for you is one thing that gives me a lot of comfort a lot of the times when I get nervous or have anxiety is that the people who have done more than you, whatever that means to you, typically aren't going to be judging you. It's typically those people who have, done less than you, who are afraid and so it's like for me, I mean, you just gotta, put it out there without that fear of being judged because you can't please all the people all the time. It's that saying, you can please some of them some of the time. Like maybe every post isn't a home run, but just remember that you're only going to be judged typically by people who maybe want to do the same thing and are afraid. It's all stemming from that fear. But yeah, like everyone's saying in the comments, like, you are awesome. You're so important to this industry. Your page is amazing. So just moving forward with that, like, little shining confidence, and it will grow.
It's great.
Yeah, that's
Love
really
it.
good advice. I'll add something to this too. And like everybody on this panel, I have high anxiety and I'm nervous about being vulnerable, but I still go out there and do it. Some days are better than others. And something I've been doing the last few years is when I get a praise or a good review or a good comment, a text or whatever it is, I copy and paste it onto my desktop. And when I'm in a funk and feeling like not 100%, I'll go back and look at those little positive remarks and like, oh, I'm doing good. Those little things help.
That's great. That's great advice. And it's like we all we all feel that way. And I wouldn't have expected you to say that, and it just, we all have doubts. And that's true. When I get a thumbs down, I am always going to get a thumbs up. And those are the ones I have to focus on. And those are the ones I'm going to plaster on my fridge, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, someone said Janice is great. Yay. I'm going to go with that one.
Yep.
Yeah. Shelley asked, and that's probably open up a whole other ball of wax, but if you guys want to go for it, she asked about hashtags. What in particular did you say?
She said, can you explain them?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's a
Can you explain
hashtag?
hashtags?
Tyler,
Tyler, you go for that one.
yeah, I feel like that's your game.
So
Like why we use hashtags, what do you, all that.
So like to start off, like, do you use them because you want your content to be found more? So essentially, I mean, you might not do it. I know I don't, but like there are people that will just click on a hashtag. So let's just use, for example, hashtag personal trainer. That's a one that I use a lot for almost every company that I run or that I consult for, is just hashtag personal trainer. And if you go click on that, millions of people are using it. So I'll give you a strategy right now to utilize, is that pick 3 that you find beneficial for your post that you're doing right there. So let's say that you're putting out a piece for your personal training business and it's, a workout tip or something like that. So you got your clip that you're about to post, so your photo. So you can I would always say that you want to make sure that you first start off by having your hashtag for your business. So hashtag XYZ training. Boom, that's 1 right there. Next, hashtag personal trainer. And then 3, what's the hashtag what's the popular hashtag for your city? So if you're in Phoenix or you're in, I live in Chandler, whatever the popular one is for that, include those 3 in your main post. And then after that, in the comments, so if you already follow me, even just going to the post I did today is me doing the Highland Games. So you'll see I put 2 hashtags in that, and then in the comments I put the rest of my hashtags. And I put them in there for one, and then you just see these random people will start finding you, and you're like, how did this random person find me? It's from the hashtags, and that's how you grow your brand that way. So another addition to that, and I just have to chime in and say this because they mentioned Janice and Amber mentioned this about the hashtags and putting in the comments. I actually was the one that told Gretchen to do that about a year. But with that, again, the reason why I put them in the comments is the cleanliness, in my opinion, of looking at it. When you look at the post, you only see 2-3 hashtags. And then when it posts to Facebook, you don't see that blob of hashtags on there unless you're going to go in and edit it. But when you're selecting your hashtags for your post, what is it that your post is about? And make sure you click on them. Because if you just go in there, if you click on, I'm on my post that I just did today. If I went and clicked on hashtag personal trainer, 3.8 million posts about it. And if you go click on other ones, other popular ones are like hashtag Fitspo, hashtag exercise. So click on them and see if they're getting traction. A lot of ones that I've been utilizing lately for like the podcast that I do with Kips and that I'm the host with Janice for Fitness Fest. We put hashtag fitness industry, hashtag fitness podcast, because that's what it's about. And you want that audience. So think about your audience, do a little research. There's websites out there where you can check popular hashtags for whatever industry you're in and really try to utilize them for your post to get it out there. And then all of a sudden, like Miss Stacy, she puts some hashtags on there. I can literally just, if I text her these hashtags to use, like I honestly think she would start tripling or quadrupling in terms of her followers because the quality looks good and just got to get it out there more. And I honestly, I would recommend having different ones. And I showed this I think I showed it to Janice last time I saw her. Like, and this is kind of crazy when you think about it, like, what is this guy posting about? But I consult for 3 companies. And so I got a variety of hashtags, but even just on my phone, these are all different hashtags, sets of hashtags that I post for different things. Well, whether it's a gym post or if it's about a wellness coach, or if it's about a different type of movement post, there's different hashtags you want to utilize. So just trying to do your research and then just figure out what it is and just put it out there. Does that help?
That help, guys? Tyler, I don't know if you agree with this or McCall or Sean. So we were told that like we'll put the hashtags up top, but then I do 4, like a period, and then return, so and then put the rest of the hashtag so it looks cleaner. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that's what I do.
I gave that to Gretchen about a year and a half
No.
ago. I did.
No, that silly girl gave that to us a long time ago. And by the way, that hashtag first in the thing, you didn't tell me that, so I don't do that. Amber and Tyler and Gretchen, I don't do that. I didn't know that. You guys left me out of the secret.
What was it? I missed it.
Put the hashtag, like hashtag first. You guys said that. Tyler, I thought that's what you said in the beginning of the conversation. No? No, okay, never mind.
You're making up things, Janice.
Yes, it's very possible. It's very possible. Yeah.
Okay. Those are good questions, though.
That was great.
Yeah.
All right. Let us know what you want to see. We're going to skip next week. That's okay with everybody. 4th of July weekend. Be safe, be healthy, stay strong. My goodness. Especially us, everywhere, all over the country, all over the world. But man, Arizona, come on, guys. It's not over yet. Whether you believe in a mask or not, let's just do it. Okay. Man, we're just, it's embarrassing. People all over the country are like, my friends are like, how are you? What's wrong? I'm like, oh gosh, here we are. Top of the news. Not good either. So stay safe, everybody. Stay healthy. Happy 4th. Yep. And we'll see you in 2 weeks, if not sooner.
Thank you, Janice.
Thank you, everyone. You have a
Thank
good
you,
one.
speakers. Thank you, Sean, Tyler, McCall. Thank you so much. And thank you for everyone for attending. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank you.
Care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.